hold your ear. Don't go through agents, so agents will chop your money. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Sincerely IJ. If you're new here, please make sure you subscribe immediately you finish watching this. In fact, do it right now as you're watching. Just go and subscribe. Look for the button, press it, subscribe, and let's go. So today we are talking about traveling. In fact, traveling on a budget. A lot of us have always had this idea that if you want to travel, you need $2,000 billion, as Shatabandu would say. $1,000 million $100.
$7 million US. Yeah, man.
But today we want to talk about, in fact, traveling on a budget, and to have that discussion here with me today is Marian, aka the blogger of our time. She can travel for the world.
She's a liar. I'm a mini traveler.
Oh please. So she's going to be, you know, talking to us about traveling because she has a lot of experience. She travels a lot. So Marian, welcome to Sincerely IJ.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
So traveling on a budget. First of all, like I'm sure you've heard a lot of people say that if they want to travel, they have to have so much money, which is why a lot of black people don't like traveling. So how has that experience been for? It's true, black people, we don't like traveling. We would rather use that money for something else.
The economy is hard.
Yes. So for you have experiences with traveling. Like I'm sure you've been to a lot of places. So I want you to explain to us or describe how traveling on a budget looks like.
Okay. So traveling on a budget, as the name suggests, you have to first have a budget. Because traveling is expensive, I won't lie. It's not exactly cheap.
So you need to save.
Exactly, you need to save. Everything when you want to travel, I think you should plan about a year ahead.
Really?
Yes.
So do you plan a year ahead?
Yes. The last time I went to the trip with a couple of friends of mine, it was a whole year of planning. And then first we had to get our budget together. Because you have to know what you are willing to spend, and what you are willing to spend will determine which country you go to. It will determine which hotel you stay at. It will determine what flight you are going to take. It will determine what you eat when you get there, and it also determine the places you go to when you get to that country.
Okay, so say you want to visit a country like Singapore and you don't have a lot of money, like you said, you need to save for up to a year. How much do you think, like what is the least amount of money you should have before thinking about traveling to such a place?
The least amount of money is difficult for me to say from the top of my head.
Okay, like give us a range. Maybe you want to spend a week and you want to chill, you know, you want to enter places.
From the top of my head, I'll think about $2,000, but don't quote me, because the thing with Singapore is it depends on where you are starting from. If you are traveling from Ghana to Singapore, Singapore is at the other side of the world. So you are talking about a 12-hour flight, and usually you would have to do a layover. If you are going to Emirates, for example, you have to do a layover in Dubai. The longer the flight, the more expensive the flight. Okay,
so if you want to cut down on cost, you can decide to do transit. Take shorter, like you're taking trotro from here.
Exactly.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Exactly.
Wow.
And there are some airlines that are relatively cheaper than others. For example, if you want to travel to Singapore, KLM is more expensive than Ethiopian Airways. Just as sometimes even Emirates can be cheaper than Ethiopian Airways. So
okay, but they are going to the same place.
They are going to the same place.
So I mean, if I have to do that, I would think about the safety, because in my head I would think that okay, so if this is cheaper than this flight, which means the most expensive one is safer.
Not necessarily. With air flights, I think it's God is on your side. I don't think
if you die, you die.
If you die, you die. I mean,
all die, you die.
Exactly.
Chop this life.
Brian fell and died. I mean, from the helicopter with all this money. So, I mean, that's just about it. It's about the grace of God. I mean, for we as Africans. But then, personally, I usually prefer Emirates.
Why?
I prefer Emirates because one, Emirates constantly have promotions. So sometimes you can get their flights are relatively cheaper. And Emirates also have a large fleet. They travel to a lot of countries. So I prefer using Emirates to connect.
Okay.
Besides, the leg room. That's what the plane you take also determines the leg room.
Okay.
So if you are traveling on a budget like I do, you are going to be in the sardine class, as a friend of mine says. That is the economy class.
You have to manage because you want to chill.
And sitting on a plane for 12 hours is no joke. So you need a plane that will give you leg room.
Yes.
For those of us who have, you need space. And Emirates is very generous. There are some planes that really have very tight space. Exactly. So that's why I like Emirates, because it's economical. It has a lot of leg room. They fly to a lot of countries. So more often than not, no matter which country you want to go to, if you book with Emirates, it can take you straight. Okay.
So what you are saying basically is, for somebody who is now starting to travel, like a beginner like me, for somebody the only place I've gone to is Nigeria. I never go anywhere. So now, if I want to now come and travel to another Gbagos to go and chill like this, what they are saying is I have to start small by considering the kind of flight I want to do that can cut costs. Instead of going big like KLM, you have to come down to your level, cut your cost according to your size. Is that what you are saying?
Yes.
That's when you don't have enough money to spend.
Exactly. The thing is that when you are traveling,
compromise.
There are 3 things that take the biggest chunk of your budget. Your flights, your accommodation is the next one, and then your flight, your accommodation. I think your flight, accommodation. Those are the biggest chunk, because usually, for example, if you want to visit 5 places and you don't have money for 5 places, you can cut it down and go to 1 place.
Yes.
But for flights, you cannot determine the cost.
You cannot go and pick trotro from Singapore to Ghana. So you have to be sure about that.
And if you are traveling to another country you don't know so much about, accommodation is key. Cheap is not always best, because there are certain countries you can get them kidnapped. So accommodation, you need to choose something that is fair, not too cheap but not too expensive.
So how do you know which accommodation to choose? Because remember, we are talking about money. If you don't have enough money and you still want a bougie place, like how do you fix that?
That is why we have these 3 apps, which are the best: TripAdvisor, Booking.com, Airbnb. I'm always on those apps because, 1, they constantly have discounts on very good hotels. Secondly, on TripAdvisor, they will give you people's reviews of various hotels, and trust me, you need to read the reviews. People are very honest and genuine when it comes to those reviews. So you have to read and read and read, and then they have this rating system. So you have a 4-star rating system, and that rating system is based on safety, it's based on hygiene, it's based on the quality of food, customer service. So if you read and then you go for a highly rated hotel, it's the odds are that you get a very good place to stay at a very good cost.
Okay, so this 2,000 cedis you mentioned, like give and take, we are not saying Joma, $2,000 more that you mentioned. Is it like, does it include the flight tickets, the accommodation, or just your chilling money? Like, what does this $2,000 for,
It all depends on you, because it depends on where you want to go and where you want to stay. Some people travel, for example, if you're traveling with your boyfriend, you don't necessarily need to go to a specific place. Even walking on the streets in another country, cuddling and kissing
take
on the
pictures
streets and taking
for the ground,
pictures, like all those
paying out.
It's free, so you don't have to spend so much. And if you're a Ghanaian like I am, I always travel with my basics: gari, shito, yes, biscuits, sometimes indomie. I carry all along, so that it can cut down. I don't have to
on food costs and all that.
And one thing I wanted to say, it's always good when you always book apartments, because then you can cook your own food, so you do not have to buy expensive hotel food. A lot of hotels outside are apartment hotels, and
so you can cook your own instead of buying food, which can be very expensive.
You can carry everything: your tomatoes, your pepper, everything, your dry fish.
And even that one, you can cook to how you like. Maybe you go and buy food from a restaurant right now, you don't enjoy it. Maybe it's not spicy, like you were telling me the other day.
Yes, there are some countries that do not. I'm sure in Nigeria, I've traveled to countries where when I go to a Nigerian restaurant, I can feel the pepper in the
pepper there.
That I have come to my mother.
But
there are countries in Africa that don't really eat a lot of spicy. For example, Rwanda. their food is not as spicy
So
as
you
we
need
want
to
it.
package. So okay, so in the beginning you mentioned that you need to have at least saved for a year. Has that always been the situation with you? Did you always
Not
have to save for a
necessarily.
year?
In fact, not to save for a year. Plan for a year.
Okay.
Because the thing is, during the year, we have something called traveling off season. That is during the summer, people travel a lot.
So it's expensive.
It's more expensive.
So it is cheaper to travel when
season.
yeah, off season. But what if you want to go at a time when you want to see things like these are the times that things are
money.
That's
It's all
thing.
about your money. But as I said, if you plan ahead of time, because a lot of these hotels and flights, they have discounts. You just have to follow all these airlines like I do. I follow Emirates, I follow KLM, I follow all of them. British Airways, they constantly have discounts.
So you know when exactly.
So you take advantage. And one thing I would say that if you want to buy a ticket, I suggest you do not go through agents. Go straight to the airline.
Hold your ear. Don't go
straight to the
through agents. So agents will shop your money.
All respect to my friends who are agents, but then when you go straight to the airlines, usually you can negotiate a rate.
Okay, so for somebody who likes traveling, I'm sure you have a favorite spot, your favorite country of all the places you've been to. Which country would you say is your favorite? You can't pick that hard.
Every country is unique, but I think I'll give it to Tanzania.
Tanzania, why?
Well, the country is beautiful. I mean, Zanzibar is beautiful. The people are very, very friendly. And
are they friendlier than Ghanaians? Because Ghana people.
Yes, they are extremely friendly. The thing with Ghana is people like tips. Tanzanians do not ask you for tips for doing things for you.
Okay. Oh,
so that's the difference. So it's like if someone shows you a place to hang out,
they don't expect
anything in return. Exactly. But in Ghana, it's our assistance. Tip here and there. Exactly. But that is how it is.
Yeah.
And there was this incident that happened where we went to a club, and then after partying all night, we were half drunk. We get to the hotel, and then one of my friends realizes that she's lost her phone. And then we go back to the club, and someone actually found the phone. It was on the table, and the customer picked the phone and gave it to the manager of the club. And we go back, and they hand us the phone.
Really?
An iPhone,
and the
in a dark, crowded club.
Wow!
With all kinds of characters. Nobody picked the phone. It was actually picked and sent to the manager.
And wow, I'm surprised. I'm not saying we are thieves here, but iPhone, you leave your phone. In fact, if you leave your phone inside your own room and open the door, your own room, open the door, you will say that you come and see the phone. And not stop on going to the club. And you left the phone there and somebody brought it back.
Exactly.
Wow. That's strange.
In fact, I will encourage Africans to visit Africa. Africa is a very beautiful place.
There are lots of beautiful African countries. So if you want to travel, you don't need to go far if you know you don't have enough money to go to the States or something. Let's start from home.
Yes.
You understand? Let's try to visit our own Africa. Okay, so right now that we've talked about all those things, now we know that to travel, even though you have to plan, but it shouldn't be something which should seem very scary. So
and traveling is also fun.
Yes, exactly. Traveling is fun, especially when you're doing it with friends. And I'm sure it will be so boring if you travel alone to a place that you don't know. Very. So you know your circle, you know your squad. So just
So if, for example, the trip is $2,000. If you combine it with friends, that means that you end up paying only $500. Exactly. So it's good to get 4 people you are good with. But let me say something. Traveling is a very hectic process. It can be very frustrating. So do not travel with people you are not comfortable with, because it can be a disaster, especially for we girls. We easily get ticked. And sometimes everything can be arranged, especially because you're arranging everything yourself. There's not an agent who is doing it for you. So if you arrange everything yourself, You have to make sure that the people you are going with understand.
You know your circle. You know your circle. You understand your circle. So look out for people. Go with people that you know you can be in a situation with them and everybody's fine. Don't go with people who will be nagging the entire journey. No, you don't want to do that. So like I just want us to recap the whole thing. So we said traveling on a budget, you should consider the flights, then the
First
season.
of all, traveling on a budget, you have to plan a year ahead.
Yeah.
Then you have to consider the season. Then you have to also consider the country you are going to. If you know that you've not traveled enough, now that visa restrictions are harder, you have to also look at that. People don't know, but a lot of countries have visa free.
Yeah, like even Singapore. Singapore is one of my dream countries. Is visa free, so you can also look at that area.
Exactly. Even though we are Africans, our passports.
Other countries too are also.
Yes, our passport enables us to go to other countries. So do not always think that you have to go to the States, or there are very beautiful countries out there.
Even here in Africa. Right?
Yes, here in Africa. I mean, go to Tanzania. It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
I heard Rwanda too is also a beautiful country.
Yes, in fact, Rwanda, I must say, I was surprised because of the images thrown in the media. You think Rwanda is a war-torn country, but it's nothing like that. It's a beautiful, very beautiful country, very calm country. Yeah. So there are beautiful places to visit.
Yeah. So if you want to spend your holiday somewhere, you don't always have to think too much. Oh, I want to travel to the States. You can start small. You can start, even if you are somebody like me that have not gone anywhere before. You can even start with Ghana. Go to Kumasi. Some of you have not been to Kumasi before. Some of you have not been to the north.
Exactly.
Start small. Then you start, spreading your horizon and all that. Then it continues like that.
Exactly.
Yes. So.
Exactly.
Okay, so thank you so much for sharing your experiences here with us on Sincerely IJ. I hope you guys had fun with today's episode. So like I kept saying in the beginning, if you want to travel, you don't need to look overboard. You can start from home, start from where you are. You can travel to Africa or anything. Okay, so you guys don't forget to subscribe and like and share. Leave your comments, and we'll see you guys next week. Bye.